Hello everyone. In this video you will learn maxillary limiting structures. Limiting structure are those structures that limit the extension of the flange of the denture. So limiting structure of maxilla are the labial frenum, labial vestibule, buccal frenum, buccal vestibule, hemilular notch, posterior palatal seal area. Labial frenum. So basically, these are the fold of the mucous membrane which extends from the inner aspect of the upper lip and is attached to the residual alveolus. And it has no muscle attachment. So it has only indirect effect on the denture filament. The labial notch is to be provided and that should be deep as well as the wide enough so that this labial frenum can easily pass into this labial notch. Labial vestibule, which is extend from the one buccal frenum to the another side of the buccal frenum. So here the major muscles, we can say the muscles of the lip is orbicular oris muscles, and the fibers of the orbicular oris muscles are horizontal orientations and is anastomosis with the buccinator muscle. So this space is a labial vestibule and that accommodate the labial flange of the maxillary denture from the buccal frenum of one side to the buccal frenum and is divided into the two halves by means of the labial frenum that should be properly recorded while performing the border movement of this particular area. So that give proper support to the lip by means of this and that give a support to the lip, and the lip in this particular region has muscles is orbicular oris muscles, and it has a direct effect on the labial flanges. Buccal frenum. Buccal frenum is sometimes a single fold, sometimes multiple fold, or double, or you can is in broad fin shape. Muscles attached to the buccal frenum anteriorly is an orbicular oris muscles, posteriorly buccinator fibers, buccinator muscles, and underlying muscles, which is very much active, are levator angula oris muscles, and this need a great clearances of the buccal flanges than as compared to the labial flanges. They should be wider as compared to that of the labial flange. Buccal vestibule, which is extend from the buccal frenum to posteriorly hemilular notch. So this space is called the buccal vestibule and is influenced by buccinator muscles and the modulus muscles as well as, and distally by means of the coronite process of the mandible. So the modulus muscles is just, these are the knot-like structure distal to the corner of the mouth where the muscles of the facial muscles are, they are joined together and form a knot-like structure. So it may also it effect on the vestibule. Once the muscles of the modulus are the orbicular oris muscles, triangularis muscles, buccinator muscles, rhizarius muscles, and zygomaticus muscles. And join at and form a knot structure distal to the corner of the mouth. With effect on the, so this modulus and buccinator muscles and coronite process influence this buccal vestibule. So the size of the buccal vestibule depends upon the contraction of the buccinator muscles. When the buccinator muscles come in contact, reduce the size of the buccal vestibule. Position of the mandible. During opening of the mouth, the coronite process come forward and occupy these positions and reduce the buccal vestibular space. Masseter muscle, when the masseter come in contact, they push the buccinator muscles inward and reduce the space, as well as depend upon the amount of the bone loss. You can see here on this side there is a greater loss of the bone as compared with on this particular side, and there is a greater space. Hemilular notch is a depression between the maxillary tuberosity and the hemilus of the pterygoid plate. The soft area of the loose connective tissues, and this should be examined intraorally by using the T-burnisher here used in a mouth mirror distal to the tuberosity, feel a depression, and there is a resilient tissue, compressible tissue distal to the tuberosity. So the denture should be extended to the hemilular notch. Vibrating line posteriorly, this is just for make the postdam area. So is an imaginary line drawn across the palate that mark the movement of the soft palate. When the patient say R sound, and this line which extends from the humbular notch across the palate and toward the opposing side of the humbular notch. So we must examine this vibrating line by ask the patient to perform R sound. So there also another technique. So the another technique for vibrating line is universal warming. So this is a vibrating line which is marked by using the indelible pencils. We ask the patient to pronounce. When there is the beginning of the movement, we mark with the pencil. After that, we place the patient impression with the patient's mouth and the marking transfer to the impression. You can see here, is marking and it's again transferred and then we will mark on the past for the post-dem area. So these fovea palatini are the opening of the minus salivary duct near to the midline of the soft palate. In the midline, the vibrating line usually passes 1 to 2 millimeter interior to the fovea palatini. The distal end of the denture should extend at least to the vibrating line. So this is the anatomy of the maxillary arch, including the supporting structures, limiting structure as well as the relief area. Here this is the papilla, the alveolar ridge, this is tuberosity bilaterally, remnant of the gingival tissues, mid-palatal raphia sutures that require the relief. This is papilla, also require relief. This is the ruga area, the lateral part of the palate. This is the posterior lateral part of the palate which provide the primary support bilaterally. The fovea palatini is in a vibrating line. Since this is a humbular notch, buccal vestibule, buccal frenum, labial vestibule, and the labial frenum. So this is again the here is the denture part which are the labial notch for the labial frenum, labial flange of the denture. This is the buccal flange. This is a buccal notch that accommodate buccal frenum. This is the buccal flange of the maxillary denture, and this as a labial flange of the dentures. This is there is an alveolar groove. You can see here. This is central part of the dentures. That should be a relief. So because the mucosa is very much thin. So this is a post-dem area of the denture. Thank you very much. This is all about for the maxillary limiting structure.